Manasi Parekh Gohil, welcome to ITV Gold. I hope you're doing well today.
I am doing fabulous. How are you?
Not too bad, just trying to stay safe and healthy. How are you all doing in Mumbai? With the cases rising, I hope you're all staying safe.
Yes, we are staying safe. Trying to be as per protocol. Even though when we go outside, we started going to malls and we started going out for to cafes for coffees because how long can you stay holed up?
Right,
But nevertheless, it's a little scary. Everybody's saying that the second wave is going to start anytime soon. It's already started in Delhi,
right.
and people are really panicking. I just hope Corona goes.
Yes,
It's not
yes.
nice anymore. It was never nice, but now it's getting too much.
Yeah, for sure. And it's such a great loss of life here. Manasi, I know the television and the movie industry has started a little bit. I know you also, did the Share and Care Foundation's beautiful gala concert as well. Could you give us a little
Yes,
insight into how that is being done? And is all the protocol being followed when you're looking at, everything from social distancing to mask wearing to hand washing and sanitizing?
absolutely. In fact, we've been doing so many concerts online, and so many shoots are happening online. But the Sharon K concert was really special because we maintained every protocol, right from the oximeter and the thermostat, and making sure that everybody was wearing their masks except when they were on stage. And everybody was socially distant, and even the singers were kind of the mics were sanitized because the mic surface is one surface which can definitely catch a lot of germs.
Right.
So every singer had their own sanitized mics, and there was no audience because we recorded it in a studio in an enclosed sanitized space, so that it could be telecast, with proper edits and stuff at the Sharon Care
Right.
concert.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we were so thrilled when we went on stage. All of us actually met each other after
Wow.
7 months. The
Wow.
musicians and the singers, everybody was together, and the energy was insane. Because no matter how many Zoom meetings you do, no matter how many virtual performances you have, but when you have like the entire band together,
Right.
it's so special. So we
Definitely.
all loved that, and thanks to Sharon Care, all of us came together for the first time, actually.
Wow. That is
And
beautiful.
Rising Together is the perfect name because we really felt like, if we are all together in this, we're going to come out of it very fast.
What do you have to say about their amazing work? They empower the most vulnerable communities in India, and you help them raise so much money here and for India. What do you have to say about the foundation itself?
I think Sharon Care is incredible. The amount of work they do, the kind of support and rehabilitation they do for people in India, underprivileged people in India, be it in education, be it in healthcare. Their work is commendable. I have been very closely, Parthiv and me, of course, have been very closely associated with Sharon Care. And I had the good fortune of producing 4 documentaries documenting the entire work that Sharon Care does in India. And so I have literally gone to the villages in Rajasthan. I have gone to the places in Uttar Pradesh, and I've gone to the places in
Wow.
Bombay where the people who have benefited from Sharon Care's rehabilitation work
Wow.
were giving us real life accounts of their experiences with Sharon Care. And I think it's hats off to the entire team. It's just incredible to see, such diverse groups of Indians coming together to work selflessly for such
Right.
a big cause. And nothing can beat that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's incredible how much help is needed, and how much we all need to continuously contribute. Manasi, I want to take the rest of the time and talk to you about you, because the audience loves you. We have seen you on TV, we have seen you on movies. Now you're
Yeah,
content creating, you're in web series, you're a singer, you're a producer. So I think it'll be great for our audience to get to know you a little bit more. So let's start from your
sure.
earliest days, Mansi. Being a part of, being so involved in art, I would like to know, did you initially start off like that? What were some of your earliest memories of being in the art form and experiencing what it means to be, say, an actor or a singer?
I started off as a singer when I was 4 is when I started learning music, and my mother realized that my grandmother actually, mom's mom, she realized that I have a natural inclination towards music and I'm really good at it. So that's when my musical journey began, and I was so passionate about learning music. I would finish school and I would go for my music class very dedicatedly, and I learned Indian classical music, and I did my Visharad in Indian classical music, which is equivalent to like a bachelor's degree in Indian classical. And this I did while I was, passing high school. So I've always been very actively involved in the arts. I've always been, a part of the entertainment industry. I started my career when I was 10 years old, when I started singing in live performances as a child singer.
Oh, wow.
And I did some 200, 300 stage shows by the time I was 15 years old. And when I went into college is when I got the chance to audition for a TV show. And I had never thought that I would become an actor because I was always very clear that I'd be a singer. But it's interesting because I met this astrologer, this face reader, who read my face one day when I was around 16. And he said that, you're going to be facing the camera. And I said, what does that mean? Because I'm going to be a singer. So how does that happen? Maybe I'm going to be singing in front of the camera. Because this was the day, this was before social media was, as rampant as it is now.
Right.
So one didn't know what that meant. And then my journey as an actor started. And Ekta Kapoor was my mentor because I kind of started my career with her. So it's just been a and ever since I started acting, I've just been doing one television show after another,
Yeah.
Lots of commercials. I did a Tamil film, Leelai,
Wow.
and I did Uri a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
which was really well received. It won the national award, and then
Definitely.
now I did Gorkeri, a Gujarati film, which we also produced.
Yes, for
So
sure.
it's been a very incredible journey. And now that I'm not just an actor, but I'm also a producer, it's doubly exciting and doubly challenging because you're literally in the part, you're like the big part of the whole mechanics of show business. You're not just an artist, but you're also kind of responsible for a crew. You're responsible
Right.
for like hundreds of people all the time.
Yeah.
So it's incredible.
Yeah, you're truly creating. Mansi, I have a question. You are from Mumbai. Was it helpful being from the city, which is known as a city of dreams for artists, in terms of being a singer or, an actress? Was it helpful having that kind of exposure being from the city itself?
Yes, I think because you're in Bombay, you're constantly, exposed to so much around you. Of course, now with the internet and with the whole world, you can be in any part of the world. You just need internet and you can have access to everything.
Yeah.
But while growing up, when we didn't have the internet, we had, amazing music teachers and we had great drama classes. So all of it was very easily accessible. And I had friends and I had a family who was encouraging and was always supporting me. So all of that really played a very big role in kind of, honing my skills. And also the entrepreneurial side of me that I have, the Guju businesswoman inside me, got like proper support because I was a Bombay girl. So, and being married to Parthiv, who is such an entrepreneur himself,
Right.
it's just perfect.
बह चला मुसाफिर कहाँ बह चला मुसाफिर कहाँ बह चला
When you look at your first breaks, Manasi, and like when you look at making it into the industry, and I'm talking because you were a singer for a long time and then you went into acting. Talk to us about some of those first moments, some of those first shows that you did. I know a favorite of mine was India Calling, for sure, when I was
yes.
in India. Yes, I loved it. Talk to us a
you
little
were
bit
in
about
India?
that. Yeah, I loved it.
So India Calling was such a special show. I'm glad you mentioned it. I didn't talk about it because I don't know how many people remember that show, but it was a path breaker because it was actually the first ever show in India to kind of focus on call centers, and call centers was such a big rage 15 years ago. And people, everybody was talking about call centers. People didn't really know what it was, and people were saying it's great money, but we don't know what exactly it is. So this show kind of threw insights on the workings of a call center, and it was a very, very popular show. I played a cute Punjabi girl called Chandni, who comes from Jalandhar, wearing her lambi choti and jhumkis and parandi and. So I was like a Guju girl playing this Punjabi girl Chandni in India Calling, and that show was my first show as a lead actor. I was the central character. It taught me so much. It taught me so showbiz about how difficult it is to be an actor for television, because you're always working. You're working 14-hour days. You're working 27 to 28 days a month without a break.
Yeah.
For 1 to 2 years, and you've got to look good, and you've got to perform well, and you've got to remember your lines, and you've got to, it's tough. I feel if you've done television in India, you can go and win any war. Like, it's battleground training
Definitely.
for any actor. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. When you're looking at so many TV projects that you've done, Manasi, what are some of your most favorite, key projects that you think really defined you as an actor in the television industry first?
So yes, I started my career doing television. I like you said. So my first show was on MTV. It's special because it was my first show, Kitni Mast Hai Zindagi.
Yeah.
It was the first fiction-based show on MTV, because MTV was essentially a music-based channel. And then I did India Calling, and then I did another show on Sub TV called Four. Every project is special for me. Why? Because I'm very, very choosy about what I do, and I don't just pick up anything. And I remember that, I got into acting very accidentally, and I was very sure that I didn't want that to happen, because I wanted a long innings. So I took a break from my career in Bombay. I was making really good money, but I decided to study abroad, and I came to New York, and I studied at the Lee Strasberg Theatre and Film School for almost 4 months.
Wow.
I did my dramatics. I did, my workshops in movement and physical body language, and how to use the space around you. So that that entire process of coming to New York and learning the technique of acting really honed me. It opened up a huge world for me. So when I went back to India, I did a show called Gulal on Star Plus, which was very, very well received. People loved my character of Gulal, who was this girl from Rajasthan. Kutch, actually. And after Gulal, I did a very special show called Starya Roxa, which was a reality show on Zee TV, where I won it, because it was basically a singing competition where all actors competed with each other. So I was competing with Kapil Sharma, the biggies, all the biggies, and then I actually won that contest. So that was really special. And then I did Sumit Sambhalega on Star Plus, which was the adaptation, the official adaptation of Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, super successful.
I played Deborah's Indian counterpart, Maya, in Sumit Sambhalega. So it's been, every show that I've done has added so much value to my career and my life. And I think I'm just fortunate that I get good work, and people have really, really given me so much love in my television journey.
Wow. You're very humble. I think you're a very hard worker as well. That's how you've come so far. How do you compare your, all the lessons you've learned in the television industry to the film industry? How has that journey been for you? Because, you've done some of the most incredible movies that have won national awards in both languages, Gujarati and Hindi. How do you look at that industry?
So, like I said, television industry is a totally different battleground, because you're always competing against time. So it trains you in ways that films can never train you in, because there are so many odds stacked against you as an actor that you have to kind of be very resolute and fight your way through, the weariness and the body aches and the constant facing the camera that could kind of sap you, but you have to be, perform to your best in television. So that was my training. But when I did my Tamil film, for example, which was, I mean, Tamil is not a language I'm comfortable with. I had to get tutored in it and I learned the language. I can still say some dialogues. And the Vegathulana love பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சானோ அது Vegathulana விட்டுட்டு போது வானத்தோடது. So I mean, I literally memorized my lines for that, but I got the time. That's what I realized. The biggest thing about feature films is that you have time. You have time to work on your characters. You have time to memorize your lines. You have time to build an entire, graph and arc to your character. So feature films was very exciting for me. And then I did Uri.
Yeah.
And Uri, again, I auditioned for my part of Neha Sharma, who's, Vicky Kaushal's sister. And it's because she loses her husband in the Uri attacks that the film actually starts. So it was a very pivotal part. I was selected in the audition. The director loved my performance in the audition. And he said, Mansi, I don't want you to do anything more than what you did in the audition. Just replicate what you did in the audition in the final scene in the film. And I'm like, okay, that's not any pressure on me. Because I was like, oh my God, because it was a very emotional scene that I auditioned for. And I was like, oh my God, I hope I can do that, in the actual performance. But it came out really well. And the film ended up winning national awards.
Yeah.
And then I did a short film called Laddu.
Yes.
Which is basically about the Hindu-Muslim. It's a very beautiful story about this mother who's, packing her son's tiffin and, saying that today is Dadaji's Barsi. And he says, what is a Barsi? I said, no, Dadaji passed away 4 years ago. So I'm packing this tiffin for you because you've got to take it to the mandir and you've got to give it to the priest there. So he's like, but why does the priest need to eat food? But doesn't the priest have a kitchen in his house? Doesn't he make his own food? And I'm trying to explain. So it's a very cute, very beautifully written film. And basically, so this child, instead of going to the mandir, in the temple, he goes to a masjid because he doesn't know the difference. And he sees Maulavi there and he thinks that this is a priest. And he gives him the tiffin and the Maulavi says, no. This is, you come to the wrong place. The child says, what do you mean wrong place? Is there not a God here? He says,
Wow.
Of course there's a God. Are you not a priest? He says, of course, then I am a priest. Then how do you say this is a wrong place? So, the film raised such beautiful questions about what is our perception of religion. And we are the ones who make these demarcations between Hindus and Muslims.
Yeah.
But, ultimately, all of us are human beings and all of us are one. And then, of course, Golkeri happened.
Yes.
And Golkeri was our first film, my first Gujarati film as an actor, and of course, first Gujarati film as a producer also.
Right.
And that has been winning rave reviews. It's on Amazon Prime in India. I don't know if it must be in the US too as well.
Yes, we've heard about it for sure.
नानी अमथी नथनी ने माहे चढ़ेला हीरा नानी अमथी नथनी ने माहे चढ़ेला हीरा नथनिया बोने मारा सुभद्रा ना वीरा नथनिया बोने मारा सुभद्रा ना वीरा नागर नंद जी ना लाल नागर नंद जी ना लाल रास रमता
That is so beautiful. When you look at your journey in the movies, especially, why was it so important for you to do different regional movies? Is this just an attempt of your own personally to just, sort of dip into different waters?
Yes, because I think what happens is that people associate Bollywood as the only industry, when the reality is that regional cinema is bigger than Bollywood. It's just that Bollywood has more money to market itself and it's more accessible because of Hindi. But if you see, the South industry is bigger. Their films are more expensive and they have like bigger budgets. Like a Bahubali has an international audience that is way bigger than any Hindi film. For me, it's all about, content. It could be in any language. I mean, I'd love to do a Marathi film. And the good part is I'm good with languages. So I'm fluent in Hindi, I'm fluent in Gujarati, I'm fluent in Marathi,
Oh, wow.
and English. So I'm very fluent in 4 languages. So I can definitely work in those. And then I've done a Tamil film, so, I can definitely do that too.
Yes,
So
for
I'm
sure.
open to any kind of cinema as long as it's meaningful.
Wow. Is this why you now are creating and making content is so important to you because you know the value of art in each language? Is that why?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is what I learned at Lee Strasberg in New York. And it's a lesson which I hold very close to my heart. And this is for any actor out there who's seeing me. What happens in an actor's journey is that you have to wait a lot. You have to wait for auditions. You have to wait for projects. And sometimes that wait can be very long and very arduous because, there are hundreds and thousands of actors and they could be as good as you or even better. And sometimes projects don't come along the way you want them to.
Yeah.
So we were taught that if you believe that you're good, but you're not getting your job, then you've got to create opportunities for yourself and not wait for the world to provide them to you.
Wow.
And that is something that I've held on to. And slowly, of course, I've taken baby steps, but it's reached a point wherein I was like, you know what? I want to produce content, and I want to produce content that I would like to be a part of.
Yeah.
And I want to produce content that I would like to watch as an audience. And because I'm a Gujarati, I thought it would be great to produce content in my mother tongue because it's a huge audience, It's an audience that is craving good content and wants to watch content in their own language, and they're across the world, everywhere.
Yeah.
And with Gold Carey's success, we realized that, oh my God, it's incredible the amount of love that we've got. We've reached film festivals in Melbourne and Canada and New York, and all of this is happening through the lockdown. So it's like, the lockdown didn't subdue its energy, so to speak. And we're working on a new feature film, which is going on the floors in a month. Super duper nervous, super duper excited. It's again a Gujarati film set entirely in Kutch.
Oh wow, that
And
is so
it's a very
beautiful.
powerful film that I've been working on the script since the last 7 months through the entire lockdown with the writers. And Parthiv and me are very excited about this film.
Will you be acting in it? Could you give us any insight into this new project? Because I
I
was
don't want
about
to talk
ask
too
you about
much
your
about
projects.
it.
No.
I don't want to talk too much about it because, we're still we're still working on it. But let me just tell you, it's a cast that's never been seen before in Gujarati cinema.
Wow.
And it's very special and it's touch wood. It's going well. Yeah, let's see how it goes.
I have recently seen even, we have a huge Gujarati community here in the United States and, across the world. There are a lot of Gujarati people.
Are you
living.
Gujarati as well?
No, I'm Punjabi.
Oh, you're Punjabi.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
Punjabi. But, I'd love to know your take on how thriving the Gujarati film and music industry is right now and, the journey you've seen in the last couple of years of it.
I think the reason I wanted to be a part of the Gujarati industry is that it's at the cusp of something really big. And it takes a lot of, insight to gauge that because normally it would just be dismissed as, it's regional, it's got a limited audience. But that's not the case because, if you see last year, Hellaro won the national award across all languages in the country as best film. And Hellaro is a Gujarati film. So suddenly the conversation around Gujarati cinema has become very, very frenzied, and people want to know more about Gujarati actors and Gujarati writers. And, like even Scam right now on Sony Live, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's set on Harshad Mehta's story, and it's a huge success. Again, Gujarati actors, Gujarati writers. Of course, it's in Hindi, but the setup is Gujarat and Bombay, but like the whole unit, it was very Gujarati. So I think there's so many stories waiting to be told in Gujarati, and ultimately these days people don't care if it's Gujarati, Hindi, Punjabi, as long as the story is interesting, because there's so much content available at our fingertips that the content has to be gripping.
Right.
That's the most important thing. And I want to be a part of the new wave in Guju cinema.
content, what kind of content inspires you, where you see your passion truly come in? Or what is inspiring you these days, especially because you've had the lockdown to truly like go into your creative side?
Yes, absolutely. So as an audience, I don't like anything which is very dark and very depressing as an audience. So I don't want to make anything which is dark or depressing as a content creator myself. But so many shows have inspired me. Like I said, Hansal Mehta directed Scam, brilliant web series. I've been watching The Crown, and it's again very incredible. I've been doing like the American sitcom with Schitt's Creek, and so I mean it's different kinds of content that, of course, then you have Korean cinema, you have all those films, In the Mood for Love and Parasite.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the lockdown has been, it's thrown out so much content for us to access. And so the scripts that we're working on, like the script that we're working on currently for the Gujarati feature film is, again, something that's never been seen in Gujarati cinema as yet.
Wow.
And there's a very strong statement. It's not just cinema for the sake of cinema. It's entertaining, but there's a message that we're definitely putting out.
Yes.
And that's the kind of work that I want to do. I want to entertain, but there has to be something it stands for.
Yeah. You want to do something meaningful.
Yes.
Something that makes a difference. And also, are you going to be doing web series
But also,
as well?
but entertaining.
And entertaining, yes.
Like with
web
Gold
series?
Keri, the film, sorry.
What about web series?
So I produced a web series for this app called MX Player.
Yeah.
Again, Gujarati. It did really well last year. And we were commissioned to do season 2, which we just wrapped up a couple of months ago.
Oh, wow.
And so that's going to be launched in, I think, December or Jan 2021. So that has happened. I've been doing a lot of content for YouTube, very popular YouTube channels here. And I'm in talks for Hindi web series as well. So yeah, there's things happening, brewing in that department.
Wow. So hopefully 2021 brings in a lot of creativity and a lot of projects for you. That's what it's looking like. You'll be really busy in 2021.
Yeah, but apart from this, I'm also a full-time mother.
Yes. Yes.
So
for
that
sure.
is another big commitment, in terms of time and headspace that I give to my child, because I want to be there for her. I want her to, be a part of my life, and I don't want to be a mother who's not involved, because our lives are so exciting as artists. Parthiv and me are fortunate enough to be in professions which are so blessed, and which are so entertaining and so much full of love, and that I don't want my daughter Nirvi to miss out on that.
Yes, of course.
So I take her with me, and she's a part of all the rehearsals and meetings. Of course, she's young right now, so she has a time. Once she starts proper school, she won't be able to do that.
Right.
So I've been making the most. So she's literally been a part of narrations and meetings and auditions ever since she was in my stomach. So she's grown up in this world, with Parthiv's music and Parthiv singing and me and him singing and doing stage shows. And so it's been a very vibrant childhood for her. She's traveled to like so many countries across the world ever since she was 4 months old.
Wow.
We've done, like Europe and like a full month's tour in the US across 8 cities. We did Japan with her.
Wow.
So yeah, all of that has happened, and I think she's a very lucky child, touch wood.
Yes, of
I wish I got to travel so much when I was a child.
Me too. When you look at Nirvi, what are your hopes for her? And, she has big shoes to fill with you and Parthiv being her parents. Are there any expectations for a push towards arts or whatever she wants?
No. Whatever she wants. She could do plumbing if she wants to, if that's what her passion is, no. But yes, we do expose her to as much music and as much of an environment as we can, because whether or not you pursue arts professionally, I think it's very important to be exposed to as much creativity as you can as children, because it gives you a different perception of the world, which just hones you as a person, which kind of defines you and your vision, worldview.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the most important thing for her.
Yes.
And everything else is secondary.
Yeah, and that's a word of
She can do whatever she
advice.
wants to.
And that's a word of advice to all parents out there to let their kids do whatever they want to as long as they know
Yes.
there are avenues and everything else. I only have two questions left here for you. My first question to
Yes.
you has to be, we have a full industry of South Asians, even here in the US now, who want to pursue art. And they specifically want to pursue Indian arts in terms of dance, in terms of singing or acting. What are some tips or advice you can give for them? Especially for the ones living here. Do you recommend they try out in Bombay or create something here?
So what I think is, and I have a lot of friends in the US who pursue arts, and I have been a part of that culture there. But I've seen, Indians living in America really working hard to kind of find their feet, and passionately doing their dance and their music and all that. So what I think is it's great. They have the best of both the worlds. They have the facilities and the amenities that a country like America provides, but they have, the language. So I would say this to everybody who's listening to me right now. Make sure that you are connected to the language, whatever that language is. If you're a Gujarati, Gujarati, Hindi, Tamil, make sure that you know how to speak in that language. Make sure that you come to India and get trained in that specific art form if you can afford to, in terms of time, in terms of money. Um, and then go back there and then just, take all that culture and all of that beauty with you and just expand it into the US because, yeah, that will be just making the best of both the worlds.
Yeah, that's some key advice. And I think it's so important for us to have the best of both the worlds because that's the culture we're truly living in. If I was to ask you, what are your hopes for your future? Say like your 5-year plan right now. What would you say?
My 5-year plan is to produce at least 4 to 5 more films
Wow.
and be a part of exciting projects as an actor as well. And yeah, to keep working on, myself, getting better, getting more experienced. So, honestly, the thing is for artists, at the end of the day, it's all about good work. If you're getting good work, you're working with good people, everything else is secondary.
Yeah.
So that's all I pray that, there's good work and there's exciting work, and I'm always getting better with each project. So, yeah, my 5-year plan is my production house, Soul Sutra, that Parthiv and me are a part of, and we're working very hard to establish.
Yeah, and such a beautiful name. Such a
It's
beautiful
big,
name.
and we get a lot of
Yeah.
collaborations. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course. And I wish you the best for Soul Sutra. I think the name is absolutely beautiful. I think the work you're doing is absolutely great. I would love for you to give one last message to all of the South Asian Americans watching you on ITV Gold.
Thank you so much for all the love that you send me on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. I read all the comments. There's a lot of people who have been following a lot of my work, and I feel really blessed and humbled. So thank you so much for all the love. And I hope that you keep loving me like this. And I hope that I can come to the US very soon and hopefully meet you all through like a show or through a performance very soon.
Yes, fingers crossed. Here is to the best for
Fingers crossed.
COVID-19. Yes. Thank you so much for your time, Mansi.
Thank you so much for this conversation. It was lovely chatting with you.
Love.